It's been an exceedingly difficult week for Klal Yisrael, for Eretz Yisrael. The tragedies, the suffering, the fatalities, losses of life is harrowing. And what does the Torah tell us in this week's Parsha? The Torah tells us, Elam Maasei b'nei Yisrael. These are the travels of Klal Yisrael in the Midbar, in the desert. The word Maasei, travels, is etymologically related through the Sharesh to Amos, which means burden. You see, in life, in order to get to your destination, very often you have to have an imposition, you have to have a burden, you have to have a challenge, you have to have a struggle. That's a prerequisite to get to the destination, to get to the journey. 42 destinations, 42 stops, wandering all over the place in the desert. The Rishonim ask, why? Why was it necessary for the Torah to record? It seems so technical. It seems so tedious and even pedantic for the Torah to have to give such a litany, such a list of all the different stops, the wandering of the Jews in the desert. And Rashi says it's to show us the love of the Rabbi Shalom, of the Master of the universe, to Klal Yisrael, to his children. Because the first year, he made us stop 14 times. And the last year, he made us stop 8 times, a total of 22 times. But throughout the 38 years, 20 times. It wasn't a stop. It wasn't a new destination. It wasn't a struggle and challenge every single year. But throughout the 20 years, the 38 years rather, it was 20 different stops. The Ramban Nachmanides says in the name of Rambam in the Moreh Nevuchim, Paragimel, that the reason why God asked Moshe Rabbeinu to transcribe, to record all the destinations, all the stops, is because there would be skeptics, there would be naysayers, there would be cynics, there would be bloggers that would say that it was impossible for the Jews to survive in the desert without any amenities, without provisions, without resources, in such an inhospitable, uninhabitable environment. And it was all a ruse, it was all a farce, it was all a lie. It really didn't happen. And therefore Hashem records every single place for us to see that these places really existed, and how inhospitable and how uninhabitable these places actually indeed were. As the Mincha Blula says, that the places are each recorded, because there's a halacha that says you have to make a nes, you have to make a bracha on the nisim. Baruch sha'asa nes la'avoseinu b'makom hazeh. Anytime a person traverses these specific places, you have to make a bracha, that Baruch Hashem, our ancestors, were able to survive the tremendous ordeal that they experienced in these places. But the Baal Shem Tov says something that's so profound, that's so deep, that can enrich our lives, and that can really fortify us. The Baal Shem Tov says that just as the Yidden, the Jews in the Midbar, had to traverse and go wander through 42 stops, every single Jew, from birth until the time of death, must go through struggles and persevere through a lot of imposition, through a lot of challenge, through a lot of issues, and through a lot of ups and downs, a lot of bumps in the road. 42 times. And obviously 42 is an archetypical number. It may not be 42, maybe less, maybe more. But this is what we have to go through in order to see our promised land, in order to see our future. Because it's the Maasei, is the Amos, is the burden. In order to see the destination, we have to go through problems, we have to work through issues, we have to become better. It's our own mass separations, it's our own creation anew, to become better people, to become new people, to become stronger people. As a matter of fact, the Heilige Reb David from Lelev, the founder of the Lelev dynasty, the Talmud of the Chayzel from Lublin, says that just as Hashem records in the Torah all our stops in the Midbar, Eliyahu Navi is transcribing all the exile, dispersion, all the times we've been expelled. You know, as a matter of fact, from the year 250 AD to the year 1948 of the Common Era, when the State of Israel was founded, the Jews have been expelled from more than 100 different countries. And all of these stops, all of these trials and tribulations, all these exiles are being recorded by Eliyahu Navi. And says Reb David from Lelev, it's going to be read by us when Eliyahu Navi comes. But the Shem Shmuel takes it a step further. And he says in the name of Azeda, the Heilige Kotzker Rebbe Zatzal, that in Shemayim, everything that's transpiring at the moment, all the nisim of the missiles raining down, the barrage of terrible, terrible missiles And all the time, when our enemies try to inflict harm and danger upon us, in Shemayim it's been recorded, and Mashiach is writing a sefer, which will be mandatory reading, like the Torah itself, when Mashiach comes. And we all, each and every one of us, are writing our own Sfarim, our own books. Because when we fall, and it's human to fall, it's natural to fail and fall. It happens to all of us. We have to struggle. We have to understand that life will be about ups and downs. In order to get to our destination, it's not easy. But the burden and position, the challenge, build us as people and create a Maasei Bereshis. And that's what the magical number 42 in the Torah this week is. Because Tosfos and Chagiga says that 42 is the Shem Hashem. 42 letters in the name of Hashem that created Maasei Bereshis, that created the primordial existence of the world. As Rabbi Nechunya ben Akana, the Heilige Tana, the Rebbe of Rabbi Shmuel, the author of the Sefer up here, says that the name of Hashem, the Shem Mem Beis, the 42 letters, as he went ahead and encapsulated in the Heilige, in the very, very holy Tefillah of Ana B'Chayach, which is an acronym. Every word begins with a letter of the 42 Shemos of Hashem, is what created the world. And that's why there are 42 words in the first paragraph of Shema. 42 representing creation anew, because when you say Shema, you're not just saying the mantra and the credo of the Jewish people. You're helping create a new reality, a new existence. But there are 42 cities of refuge aside from the primary 6. 42 Levite cities and cities of refuge, because when you say the Shema, you're creating, you're ensconcing yourself, you're protecting yourself. And that's why the Shita Mekemetzes and Menachos says that every page, every amud of the Sefer Torah has 42 lines. There are some that say 48. Other Shitas and Masechet Sofrim say 60. But the universal application is 42 lines in the Sefer Torah. Why? Symbolic of the 42 travels of the Jewish people in the Midbar. Why is that so important? Because it's symbolic and representative of the fact that every Jew has his own Torah. Every Jew has his own book of law. Every Jew has his own sefer that he's writing with his ups and downs and with his struggles. But he's creating his own Maasei Bereshis. He's creating himself anew, as Rabbi Bechaya and Rabbi Yaakov Emden and Srah HaMor say, that Kimei Seitzcha Me'eretz Mitzrayim Erenu Neflois. But just as the Jews, when they left the servitude and the oppression, the persecution, the enslavement of Mitzrayim, they had to go through the travails and the vicissitudes of the Midbar, all those exiles, all those stops. So too, in order for us to have Mashiach, we're going to have to go through a lot of different stops throughout the world. And we're going to have many, many, many different stops. But all this to create the Maasei Bereshis of our own redemption and Be'ez Hashem, the collective redemption of Klal Yisrael. May we be zoche to see tremendous Yeshuas and Refuas and Simcha for Klal Yisrael. Good Shabbos.